Today, we're diving into a city that just feels like the absolute heart of Poland. But hidden right there in plain sight is a secret story, one that connects Kraków to the very soul of the Italian Renaissance. So this is Kraków. You probably picture its incredible square, the historic castle, all those deeply Polish traditions. But what if I told you that just beneath that surface, there's this profound Italian influence that shaped the city in ways you would never, ever expect? And hey, this isn't some new theory. All the way back in 1596, an Italian visitor named Giovanni Paolo Machante was so blown away by the city that he wrote exactly that. It just begs the question, right? What on earth did he see that made him compare a Polish capital to the eternal city itself? Well, that's exactly what we're going to find out. We are going to peel back the layers of Krakow's history to uncover the art, the ideas, and the people from Italy who left this absolutely indelible mark on its streets, its culture, and its identity. All right, so our journey starts right where you'd think it would, in the magnificent main market square. It's been the center of life in Kraków for centuries. And the clues? They're right here. As long as you know where to look and, where to listen. Every single hour, on the hour, this beautiful, almost haunting bugle call, it's called the Hymnal Mariacki, plays from the tallest tower of St. Mary's Basilica. That sound is synonymous with Poland. It's broadcast all over the country. And here is our first twist. That broadcast, which has been this symbol of Polish identity since the 1920s, is made possible by a powerful megaphone built by the company of, wait for it, Guglielmo Marconi, the Italian father of radio. How about that? Italy, broadcasting the sound of Poland. But the connection goes so much deeper than just technology. Right here in the square, at buildings number 7 and 8, was the headquarters of the Italian Brotherhood. Now, this wasn't just some social club. This was a powerful association from the 16th century. They owned property. They helped out their fellow Italians. They even elected their own Italian-speaking spiritual director. This was a formal, thriving Italian community right at the city's core. So, from the square, let's head up to Wawel Hill. This was the seat of Polish kings, and if the square just has echoes of Italy, Wawel Hill is where its voice is just booming. This place is the absolute epicenter. You see, for hundreds of years, Wawel Castle was this big, imposing Gothic fortress. But then, in the 16th century, the Polish royals got completely swept up in the Italian Renaissance. So what did they do? They brought in a wave of Italian artists to give it a total makeover, transforming it into the elegant, light-filled masterpiece you see today. Now, this whole transformation was really led by one guy in particular, Bartolomeo Bresci. He was an architect from Florence, and he was hired to build the Sigismund Chapel. And this wasn't just another building. It was like he took a pure, unfiltered piece of Florence and dropped it right here in Poland. It's still considered the best piece of Renaissance architecture north of the Alps. And this is a perfect example of the new ideas he brought. Before Bresci, the sculptures on tombs were really stiff, very formal, very Gothic. But he introduced what's called the Sansevino pose, a style from Italy where people are shown looking like they're in a natural, peaceful sleep. It was a total revolution in art, bringing real emotion and humanism to stone. Okay, so as if a whole Renaissance castle wasn't enough, Wawel is also the guardian of Poland's most prized work of art. And yep, you guessed it, it's by the ultimate Renaissance man himself. It's the Lady with an Ermine by Leonardo da Vinci. The painting is a portrait of Cecilia Gallerani, who was the young mistress of the Duke of Milan. Now, the little ermine she's holding is a classic symbol of purity, but it's also a super clever inside joke. The Duke's nickname was actually the Ermine. This Italian masterpiece was bought by a Polish prince back in 1800, and it eventually found its forever home right here in Kraków. So, we've seen how Italian influence completely changed Krakow's art and architecture. But it did not stop there. Italian ideas about technology, about business, and even about how people ate fundamentally reshaped the entire Polish nation. Check this out. In 1558, the Polish king set up one of the first modern international postal services, connecting Kraków directly with Venice. So why Venice? Well, because in the 16th century, Venice was the global hub for finance, for information, for diplomacy. And who do you think the king put in charge? An Italian, of course, a guy named Prospero Provence. Okay, this next one, this might be my favorite. It's a story about power, about culture, and about a really simple utensil that just changed everything at the dinner table. The fork. Yeah, the fork. It was seen as this elegant little novelty in Italian courts, and it was brought to Poland by the Italian-born queen Bona Sforza. But then, in 1574, the Polish king, Henry III, left Krakow to go become the king of France, and he took a set of Polish forks with him, introducing them to the French court. So the forks' journey across Europe had a major layover in Krakow. Incredible, right? And the flow of talent was just staggering. Italian merchants were bringing in luxury goods like silks and spices. Italian entrepreneurs were managing the country's most valuable asset, the Wieliczka salt mine. Italian diplomats were serving as Polish ambassadors. And get this, between the 16th and 18th centuries, more than a dozen Italians served as the mayor of Kraków. Now, this wasn't just some brief moment in history that faded away. The Italian connection to Krakow is a living, breathing legacy, one that's still shaping the city's cultural life today. Let me just throw a number at you. Over 6,000. That's how many people, in Krakow alone, are actively studying the Italian language right now. It's just proof of this deep, lasting passion for Italian culture that has survived for centuries. Ugo Ruffino, who's the director of the Italian Cultural Institute in Kraków, he really put it perfectly. He said that the beauty of the whole region, and especially Kraków, is a direct result of the Italian artists, merchants, and thinkers who came and made their home here all those centuries ago. When you really step back and look at it, this Italian thread is just woven through everything. You see it in the graceful arches of Wawel Castle and the revolutionary art inside, and you even hear it in the sound of the Hejnał Mariacki being broadcast all over the nation. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Every city has its official story that we all know. But what other stories, what other surprising connections are hiding just under the surface of the places we think we know so well? What's your city secret?